Good morning. It is day 72 of our Appalachian Trail Virginia LASH. We are about 8.5 miles outside of Pearisburg, Virginia, and it rained all night long, and it's currently raining. I'm under a huge rhododendron tunnel, so that's helpful. It's about 57 degrees, so it's gotten pretty cold, and most everything is wet. So yesterday my feet got soaked because these new shoes are not waterproof. And so the shoes are still wet. My socks were soaked. My gaiters were soaked. Nothing dried out. Except for, like my rain jacket dried out because I hung it up and that. But anything that absorbed the water was still very wet and cold this morning. And it's going to be a pretty good chance of rain all day long, I believe. Oh, walk around rocks. So we have 8.5 miles. It's about 8:15, and hopefully we get a decent day hike in the rain. Don't slip on all these rocks. That's the goal for today. And it just sounds like it might have stopped raining. So now it's just coming off the trees, at least for this moment. All right, looks like we're climbing up. So I'm going to get off here and go do some heavy breathing as I exert to get up this hill. Have a good day, everyone. Continuing our rainy stretch on day 72. We have 8.5 miles today, and I believe that'll put us at our 400-mile marker, which is exciting. We have another foggy, drizzly rhododendron tunnel. 400 miles on the AT. Obviously in Virginia, everyone is way above 400 miles if you continued a continuous footpath. But we have pretty much enjoyed our highlight reel of the AT after we left Irwin. It's just a little different than others. Water source? No. There's a crap ton of mud. Okay. We're going to play the floor is lava and try to walk on the rocks. Oh. Okay, I made it. What's that? That's a big old hole. Something can live there. So last night at the shelter, we ended day 71. We had to kind of squeeze in. There was 5 of us in the shelter last night. There was only room for 6. So it was pretty much sleeping pad next to sleeping pad. But it was fine. Everyone was trying to get out of the rain. I ended up eating a ramen packet last night, which was my first ramen packet on trail. And had peanut butter and jelly quesadilla, or wrap, whatever you want to call them. It was just on tortilla. But we were all talking how there's supposed to be a Chinese buffet in Pearisburg. And I think it's pretty close to the hostel. So, McRib is also staying at the hostel with us, and Granny Gear is staying at the hotel across the street, but we'll probably end up seeing them in town. This is our view. We're climbing, if you can't see the incline. We have 1,000 foot up and 2,400 feet down today in our 8.5 miles. But Granny Gear, he is a biker, and he said that he had biked the Katy Trail. He said his wife won't go hiking with him, but she will go biking with him. And he tried the AT in 2018. He said he got injured at the Whites and had to abandon the trail. But he wanted to come back and try to do it again. He said he never thought he would, but he's back here. Because sometimes the trail just calls. And that is very true for a lot of people, I think. I mean, sorry, it's raining again. I had to cover my phone. But, so I put on my other pair of socks that were dry. But I've worn them so much. It was the same pair of socks I started with, that they have gotten threadbare at the ankles and the heel of them. But the wet pair that I wore yesterday in the rain, I knew I was sweating a lot and my foot was kind of squishing around and sliding around in my shoe. And then when I got wet, it was squishy even more. And in all that, I guess, it made the seam weak because I had stuck my toe through it. So now I have a pair that has a big hole in the toe and a pair that has holes in the heel and the ankle. So we're going to have to try to get me a decent pair of socks or a couple pair when we get into town. There is a Tractor Supply that looks like it's right across the street from the hostel. And I'm hoping we can get some permethrin and spray our stuff because we haven't sprayed it since we got back on trail. And I got into chiggers or something when I was wearing shorts. So I want to make sure I get everything sprayed down. I've been wearing bug spray, but it's not working. Like I got mosquito bites on the back of my arm from where you don't really move your arm that much, even though you're moving your trekking poles. So I got bites back there. Mosquitoes were very prevalent yesterday for me. I ended up taking my sweatband and putting it over my ears for most of the day. But I would say the highlights of day 71 were the rest that we had when we had lunch. And then just talking to people in the shelter. And of course the challenge was hiking in rain and having everything being soaking wet. Like my shoes were still wet this morning. My feet are probably 60% dry, 40% wet. Like the tops of my feet aren't wet, but the bottoms are from absorbing the moisture that was left in my shoe. And what else? Yeah, I think that was pretty much the challenge. It's always hard to go to the bathroom when it's raining because you have to take so much gear off. But we're on day 72. And we're going to be hitting 400 miles today, babe. Your body feel it? It feels like 1,000? Yeah. Well, it definitely does feel like a lot more. No doubt. I'm hoping that we can get to the post office tomorrow and Tractor Supply and maybe the library if the Wi-Fi at the hostel's not good, because I got to get some videos edited and published. I know the family has been wanting to see what we're up to. This is it. We walk for 6, 8, 10 hours a day. That one day we walked from about 9 o'clock until 6:30. And yesterday we walked from about 8:45 until about 4:45. It's almost 5, I think. And today we'll probably be walking at least 6 hours to get these miles in. It's the 2,400 downhill that is probably going to hurt worse than the 1,000-foot uphill. Especially with the wet leaves and wet rocks. But look at that. They're so pretty. As you can see, the rain has made a lovely little aisle of flowers for us. Oh, we was able to charge up our phone when we were at Trent Grocery, So I haven't had to use all of the battery banks. So I've been able to read more at night. And to help pass the time, instead of walking hours in silence, I've been reiterating to Reptile what the book has been about. But I've been reading some Fern Michaels books, and I do not like the last one that I read. Ended on a cliffhanger. And the second book in the series, I don't know if it has been published yet. And if it has, it's not out on Hoopla. But it left me off on a cliffhanger. Like, oh no, I gotta know. But that's a good author. And some of the stuff that these authors come up with is just absolutely insane. So it gives me something to do when we get to camp at night. And what's up? Just waiting on me? Yep, you and your big blue peanut M&M poncho. You do. You look like a big blue peanut M&M. So, we have I don't know how many miles left. I don't know if we've even walked a mile from camp. I'm sure we have.
We've walked a mile.
Yeah, I know. We left camp about 8:15, and it's got to be like 9:30-ish, so don't know what we've done, but trying to take care on the rocks. And even the leaves, I mean, just everything being so saturated it is slick. It's funny that dry leaves are slick and wet leaves are slick. Alright, so this is what the trail looks like today. At least this section of it. And we've got a lot of fogginess, and it's actually stopped raining. We're getting most of the raindrops are coming from the trees. It's just kind of misty at the moment. We'll see you down trail. This is our overlook at the electrical tower. Socked in and very windy. Okay. We should be getting to the ledges or the overlook right about now. And oh, what a beautiful view. How you doing out there, Reptile?
Straight down.
Straight down?
Yeah.
Yep. We are socked in with some fog and wind. And yep. Totally worth the climb up here, wasn't it?
Oh, but, I mean, if you don't come to Virginia for this view, right, like this second, you ain't doing it.
So hard. Oh, I swear. This is fun.
Type 3 fun now.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been our view all day today. When you get out of the trees, it's really windy, but not much to see here. The storm has knocked down all the flowers from our rhododendron trees, and it's just made a forest floor of pink. So we have just over 2 miles to the road crossing that we're supposed to be getting picked up at to go to the Angel Rest Hiker Haven Hostel. But we're probably going to be there an hour and a half early from what I thought we would be. So hopefully we can call them and they can come get us, or we can find some other way in, because I would hate to just wait in the rain for an hour and a half. But this has been the day. We still got blooms and blossoms of flowers, but it's rained off and on, and then the wind will pick up, and all the water on the trees comes down like it's pouring rain. And it's foggy, and Reptile and I were just talking about how we feel like the temperature dropped. I pulled my hair back in a ponytail, and like my ears are freezing now. He said his hands were freezing. It was 57 when we left the shelter this morning, but I don't know what the temp is now. The thermometer is in my pack covered under the rain gear, so it's not going to be an accurate reading. Feet are still wet. Did not realize waterproof shoes did a lot more than just let you walk through a puddle. Just all this wet vegetation that we're rubbing against. I mean, I'm pretty much soaked from the knees down. But we are still up here. We have probably close to a 2,000 foot drop down to the road in the next 2 miles. And I noticed from far out there's some switchbacks in that. So at least we have some switchbacks to go down. Because I feel it's going to be rocky. And that much of a descent is hard on the ankles and the knees. But it has actually not been too bad of a day, considering that it's rained all night and rained all day. Watch that rock, babe. We've had, let's see, 5 hikers pass us, and then the 3 in the shelter left before we did. Like I said, I know some of them were going to Angel Rest for tonight, and but that Chinese buffet sounds pretty darn good, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of them there. Alright, looks like we're headed down, and it's muddy and rocky. That is our... I feel like yesterday we ended the day at 392 point something. And so today is supposed to be 8.5, so that'll put us at a 400 mile marker. And we're going down. Alright, I'm going to hop off here so I can focus on the trail.